next level that we look at is rocks. And when we look at this level of politics, it really is looking at, again, individuals who are wielding formal power. And those power networks can either form, and often do, form a firm foundation for an organization, but they can also have a destabilizing effect if used if used incorrectly. And one of the stories that we like to share around this sort of power and this sort of political terrain is a client website that we were busy rolling out for, again, one of the big banks. And it was specifically for clients, so it wasn't an intranet, it was an internet. And we were a few weeks to go before go live, before switching the new site on. And one of our influential project stakeholders, who was very much involved in the branch network, came to us and said, there's absolutely no way you're going to be turning that website on until you've rolled out formal training on the website to all of our branch staff. Like, it's a website, it's intuitive. How on earth are we now, having not made any provision for budget, for training, for operational impact, anything, let alone timelines, going to be training thousands and thousands and thousands of users on a new website? This individual actually used their own role and their own power and authority, and they also then leveraged power and authority from other peers at their level and above to block us. So we were told there's absolutely no way that you're going to go live. So that was the situation that we were sitting in. So if we look at the way that we navigate this level of terrain, you also need to look at what formal power you can use or that you can utilize in terms of dealing with the kickback that you're getting. Again, identifying who your key role players are. Also looking at using reasoned argument and appealing to the individual's best interests. So what we did was we said, look, let's take a step back and let's really, again, reassess the impact of us going live with this website on the branch staff. So what we did is we actually started looking and gathering data around how many clients, how many customers were actually going into the branch and asking branch personnel for support on the website. And the data that came back was negligible. There was hardly any instances where customers had walked into the branch and asked a branch staff member to help them with the website. And so we actually used that data to have our reasoned argument with the individual, with the networks that they had actually mustered up around them. And we also then took it to our executive committee, our sponsor, and said, look, this is what the kickback is. This is what the data says. Please, can we have a decision? And we then got the approval that we could go ahead without formal training. However, what we also did do is we did do a one-pager that we sent out to the branch network that just gave a quick guide to the new website. But that was one of the ways that we managed to navigate that sort of terrain. So, Sandra, if we look at navigating this area, individuals with formal power can either provide a firm foundation or for the change, or they can destabilize the organization. How have you, as an executive, navigated politics to create a firm foundation for change?
Very good question. So I have been caught up in politics over and over again through my career. In the initial part of it, through absolute naivety, because I just chose to not play it. But as I landed up in executive roles and then became politically savvy, it suddenly becomes a lot clearer. It's almost like opening up a book now that you can read and understand what's going on. So what I always do is I make sure that I understand what the agenda of the person is. So that is the first thing, because there is an agenda. Either a self-agenda or an organizational or even a friend's agenda. If the friend is weak, they will play as the strong person the agenda for their friend. So when you start assessing the political game being played, don't only look at the individual. So what I always do is I don't rush into things. I sit back and I observe. And I try and understand what the motive is beyond what the person is doing. And once I've understood it and I've understood all the players on the field, I then never shy away from dealing with it. So a lot of times, these execs who sit in the senior roles may be above your pay grade, and therefore, a lot of people are scared to actually go deal with a person. So I have got a lot of tenacity, I know, but never ever be scared to deal with it, even if that person is above you or above your pay grade or way above it. So I first assess it, and then I decide on my plan, and then I go in and when I use the word attack, please don't attack. But I go in with confidence, with the data, and I go and deal with it. A lot of the time you'll find that that person is so strong at it that they'll actually start changing their game plan. So the next thing to do is to keep on stepping back and reassessing. Because they are so clever at what they want as their outcome, they're not going to keep the plan the same. Their mind is continually switching. Okay, so I didn't get that right this time, how can I change it again? So every time that person plays or their friend plays, just reassess again, because the game won't be the same. And that's what I continually do. So it's sit back, understand, look what the game is being played, don't be scared, have the tenacity to go forward, but keep on stepping back, looking again, and going in again to get the right outcome. Keep on looking at a wider span than just the individual, because it may not just be the individual.
Yeah. So and it often isn't.
And it often isn't. Yeah. If they want an outcome for something else, they will do that. And it can be as silly as, I don't want to sit in the corner office, I want to sit in the next office. It can really be, so that would be, but I have really, in my career, been scarred a lot. So if anybody ever wonders why I can do these big things, it's because I've gained strength of politics. Yes.
Thank you.
So that would be my advice, and that's the tactics that I use, and keep on growing at them. Don't use the same tactics over and over. I liken it to, and I'll bring it to technology, when you have these cyber attackers that are attacking us all the time. What are they doing every single day? They're learning new tactics every day. So are your politicians in the workplace. They are learning new tactics all the time because the ones that they have don't work. So don't have a little textbook and write down all those tactics, because I promise you those tactics tomorrow are gone and they're old. Throw them in the bin because there's new ones.
Yep.
And that is what's happening continuously. So you need to, those 6%, please go and get on a course and learn how to play the game, because you will get eaten alive.
I often say, what is it that I need to do differently to get a different result here?
Absolutely.
I've tried this, I'm not getting the result. What do I need to do differently with this person? What is it that I haven't tried? What do I need to do differently?